when people are looking to buy a house, they always have a question. They ask me, what are the costs involved at the time of closing? What time at the deal we need to hire a real estate lawyer? So if you are one looking into purchasing your home, or whether it's a first home or it's investment properties, you at any point need a real estate lawyer. If you're looking for that, you're at the right place. Stay tuned. We have with us today a real estate lawyer, Karanvir Singh Sidhu from Sidhu Law Firm. Let's welcome Karan.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you for having me today.
It's a pleasure to have you, because every time we get this question, and I'm glad to have you. And I promised that we'll have a real estate lawyer come over and answer all the questions we have regarding closing the deal, because they want to know that they don't want any surprises, so they want to do their homework and have how much money they would need at the time of closing. One thing is, at what point of the deal they should hire a real estate lawyer?
Well, they should hire the real estate lawyer, or at least start looking for one when they're in the process of buying a property or selling a property. So when you find a property you like, first of all, you might want to get a lawyer beforehand and determine what costs are associated in buying a house and what costs are associated in selling your house. And once you have bought a property, sometimes there's a condition that the lawyer must review the agreement of purchase and sale. So they will need a lawyer at that point. If the offer is firm, they should send it to the lawyer right away, so the lawyer can review it and then start the process until the closing has happened. And even after closing, they will help you in certain ways.
Mm-hmm. And also, when it comes to the condominium property, right, where there are maintenances, I think normally we have a condition, a lawyer's review to receive that status certificate, and the lawyer to review the status certificate, right?
Yes, for condos, status certificate is one of the most important documents. It details if the current owner is in default of their common expenses fees, if there's any litigation involved in on the corporation or the whole condo itself. Also, how much money is in the reserve funds, because you don't want surprises 6 months down the road after closing. There's a big special assessment. A lawyer will be able to tell you that, hey, the condo corp does have enough reserve funds. If the lawyer reviews and determines that, hey, in the future short while you might have to pay a big assessment, then at least the lawyer client knows what cost might be involved in the future.
Yeah. No, that could be a big one as well.
Yeah.
It could be, maybe I have seen in certain cases it could be even 20,000, and then you might end up either lump sum or it adds up in your maintenance fee.
Exactly. So we just want to make sure that the condo corporation has enough reserve funds that they can
take care of those special.
They can take care of this day-to-day their responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the second and most important thing people want to know is, what are the closing costs? As a buyer, let's talk about the buyers first. As a buyer, what should they be expecting at the time of closing?
Well, yes, that is one of the main questions we get all the time. First of all, there's a purchase price, and they usually put some sort of deposit down.
Yeah.
And most properties, a buyer will get some sort of lending from our mortgage. So once we determine what the mortgage amount is and what the purchase amount is, we will know how much money they need just for the down payment. And after that, the other costs that are associated with usually a buyer's transaction is land transfer tax, legal fees and disbursements, title insurance costs, registration costs, Those are the main ones for the buyers.
So can you elaborate a little more about how would they calculate the land transfer? Because that is the main one. That is the major expense, right?
So land transfer tax depends on the purchase price and also if they're first-time home buyers or not. And also the location of the property. If it's in GTA, they pay double the land transfer tax, but if they're first-time home buyers, the rebate is almost double as well. If it's outside GTA, land transfer tax is usually less, but if they're first-time home buyers, the rebate will be less as well. So it all depends on the purchase price of the property.
Yeah, and they can even call their lawyer to find out how much, the calculations would be. Or these days it's so easy, they can go online and there are land transfer calculators to calculate. They put the purchase price, if they're a first-time home buyer or not, and then they will get right away online answer how much they'll be paying.
But but we always recommend they do consult
the lawyer.
Just to make sure
there's no misunderstanding. So now when it comes to title search and title insurance, what costs are they looking at? And also a little bit, can you elaborate on that? Why is the title insurance so important?
Well, whenever you're buying a property, first thing we do is do a title search to determine what is on title. Any mortgages register on title, any liens register on title, any notices, any encumbrances, this will determine. So we want to make sure that the purchaser, before closing, all that has been taken care of. All the mortgages will be discharged or are discharged by closing time, because you don't want these are mortgages. If they stay on title, this will be could be very difficult for client to deal with after the closing.
Yeah, so what costs are we looking at? Give and take, I know it varies from the cost purchase price.
Title search is not too expensive. Usually it's included in lawyers' legal fees and disbursements, and depends how many pins there are to the property. If it's a condo, it could be 1 pin. If there's a parking involved, if there's a locker involved, it could be 2 or 3 pins. So it all depends, but the cost isn't too much for title search itself. It could be a couple of $100.
Okay, and the title insurance.
So title insurance.
What costs are we looking at?
Again, it depends on the purchase price, and so usually when a buyer buys a property, title insurance, lender will require title insurance as well. Either the lender will get their own title insurance, but the cost will be passed on to the buyer. Or they will ask the lawyer for the buyers to get a lender's title insurance on top of owner's title insurance.
Okay.
In Ontario, title insurance is not mandatory for owners, but
for their own safety, security.
Almost any deal I have done with title insurance.
Absolutely.
It's a one-time fee, but it will protect them for as long as they own the property.
And anywhere from because they want to do their maths too, so that they have that much amount of money. So what approximately are we looking at? Let's say it's a property is worth 800,000. So give and take insurance, what title insurance, what they're looking at.
Again, it depends if you're getting both title insurance or just one, for buyers and lenders, or just buyers or just lenders. But for both of them, if it's $800,000 property, usually roughly I would say we're getting for both of them, it could be from $500 to $1,000. Again, it will protect if there's any defects, any frauds on title, any those are rare things, but in normal day-to-day, let's say the seller advised us that they had paid all the realty taxes, and the buyer once moved into the property, and a month or two later they get a bill from the tax department for the previous owner. If the previous owner does not pay the amount owing, we can go for the title insurance claim, and they will reimburse the buyer for the amount that the previous owner was supposed to pay.
And I think there was registration fee.
Yes. So usually if you have a mortgage, you will have minimum 2 registration costs. One is to register the charge that the mortgage will be registered, and one is to register the transfer that the property is transferred into your name.
So how much would roughly that cost? Because that is the important thing everybody is looking for, the cost.
So those costs again are not too big. Each registration costs $77.62.
Okay.
And depending how many registrations there are, if it's a rental property, sometimes there's a notice of assignment of rents. But it's $77.62 as of today.
Yeah. And I think that might be the last question, a big word, disbursements, right? So they always ask, what are disbursements? So what do they include, right? And how much would that approximately cost?
Well, disbursements are all the things we have discussed so far.
Okay.
And plus other stuff that the lawyer might be spending from his own pocket. So lawyers usually charge a legal fee for doing their work. On top of that, they will charge disbursements. This will include title search, any bank drafts they have to make, and opening a file. You have to pay if they're using some sort of software, receiving the instructions. They again will come through a portal where there might be a cost associated with it. As well, on top of that, registration costs, title insurance, all those are
they come under disbursement.
Yes.
So what approximately should they be looking into?
Again, it depends on the purchase price of the property, and so we already discussed how much the title insurance might cost for $800,000 property. Disbursements could range from anywhere from, without the land transfer tax and title insurance, from $450 to $750, plus land transfer tax, plus title
legal
insurance.
fee.
Plus legal fee.
Plus legal fees.
Yes.
So, okay. If there is one advice you would like to give to the first-time home buyers, what would that be?
First-time home buyers, please do your due diligence. Make sure not always go with the cheapest lawyer, because a couple of $100 here and there wouldn't make a big difference. But make sure you contact a real estate lawyer well in advance of the closing. Make sure all the due diligences are done. If anything is requested by the lawyer, provide it as soon as possible. Ask for all the costs associated with the closing, because sometimes first-time home buyers, they don't even realize that all these extra costs they have to pay. Again, land transfer tax, title insurance, disbursements. So make sure they have enough money when at the time of the closing they are able to pay all that. So that's my advice.
Okay, but before I say, don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon below. Our details are in the description box below. So if you have any question, please feel free to give us a call, or we can have a set of one-on-one meeting. And even Karanvir Sidhu's information is also in the description box below. Thank you so much, Karan, for coming by, and like, you know, it already started looking like a holiday season. Yeah. So thank you once again, and look forward to having more and more videos with you, so that you can educate people about what they should be specifically, like, you know, aware of, and what are the mistakes normally clients make.
No, for sure. I appreciate you having me today.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye.
And thanks for listening. Bye.